The Supreme Court has just decided it will take up Trump's immunity case at the end of April. The decision's expected in June. This will put Jack Smith's January 6 case on hold for now. Shannon Bream is in D.C. with more. Shannon.
Yeah, this is a significant delay, Jesse, to what Jack Smith had hoped would be a trial starting March 4th. That's clearly not happening. We weren't sure whether the Supreme Court would get involved or not because the D.C. Circuit, which is that appellate level just before the Supreme Court, had a very lengthy, detailed decision saying that the immunity case would not be a winner for President Trump. They gave him a big loss. So they went to the Supreme Court and asked for a stay. What the court did was go beyond that, not only stay the case, but say we're actually going to hear it. We're told that briefing will happen in the next few weeks. They will likely hear this case the week of April 22nd. That means that from that point on, we wait. And normally these big decisions come at the end of June. This one has been expedited, though, so it may come ahead of that. But until then, that lower court is on hold. Jack Smith cannot proceed at all with any of this January 6th case against the former president. So we'll wait to see how the arguments go. But remember, once the Supreme Court makes ultimately its decision in this case, then that trial court unpauses, where Judge Chutkan has had the entire thing on pause. I would imagine the Trump team is going to argue at that point, if he loses on the immunity issue, that they need several weeks, if not a couple of months, before they can even begin to think about restarting the case, which would then throw it probably to late summer, early fall. And all of this, of course, right in the middle of the election.
What do you make of both the Supreme Court's decision and how long it took to make it?
Well, I think the shocking part for me was it's not so much that they took it, it's the delay in how they took it. Just remember, if they were going to take it, they could have just granted Jack Smith's request to hear it from the district court. Remember, he had made an application saying, you know what, just hear it directly. If you want to hear this and you know you're going to decide it because you really feel like the Supreme Court is the one that has to lay down the law here, just take it directly from the district court. They said no. So you already built in all the delay at the Court of Appeals. Then there was this application to have it heard, and this sort of thinking was, well, it was taking them 2 weeks just to decide, and the thought was they're going to say no, because why would it take 2 weeks? So you're either going to take it or not. So I think it caught a lot of people, including myself, by surprise. And then the third piece is the schedule they set, because we're here at the end of February, and they're not going to hear it until the end of April. So all of that is a lot of time when you're looking at the clock, which is that Judge Chutkan had said this trial was going to be in March. And this clearly is saying, we really don't care about your schedule. And it may bump against the election or not. And that's really what's in jeopardy.
Nicole, it's unimaginable to me that the Supreme Court will decide this case before the last day of the term, which typically is around July 1st. If that's true, then it's equally unimaginable to me that the former president will be tried before the election in November.
That's shocking.
I think that, we don't know, but against my belief that the court would not take the case, I infer that there must be some dissent on the court by some number of the justices on the question of whether this president has absolute immunity for the particular offenses against the United States with which he's been charged by Jack Smith.
No, I mean, who could that be?
It could be
just based on past writings and what we know about them.
Well, I actually, as I said, I don't understand there to be an argument at all for any absolute immunity. But as my colleagues and I wrote in a brief to the Court of Appeals and also to the Supreme Court, if there's one thing that the former president can never be immune from prosecution for, it's for his effort to overturn the 2020 election and remain in power beyond the constitutionally prescribed 4 years. If the Supreme Court were to hold that the former president is immune from prosecution for that, then I don't even know what to say.